Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Baumer HHS and welcome to our today's webinar. My name is Andreas Brandt. I'm the marketing manager of Baumer HHS and I'm glad to be your host for today's webinar. Welcome to Baumer HHS Dialogue. Today is day 5 of 1 week full of information on glue application and quality control. It is the day of sustainability and efficiency. Before we start, I would like to give you some information related to the webinar. All cameras and microphones are switched off during the webinar. You can use the chat function on the right bottom of your screen to communicate. All questions will be answered in the second part of the webinar. The full webinar will be recorded and all participants will receive a link afterwards the webinar. Please don't forget to give us your feedback when you leave at the end. And now I will come to the agenda of today. After a short welcome from Percy Dengler, the Managing Director of Baumer HHS, we start with the topic of today, with sustainable production and the Baumer HHS activities that we have, followed by a question and answer session. And now we wish you all an interesting webinar.
Dear participants of our today's Baumer HHS Dialogue. Dialogue is not just a headline, but a motto for a more interactive communication between you as guests and us as your hosts and technology providers. Baumer HHS, as a partner for the leading companies in this industry segment, establishes a platform for more and deeper communication. So use the opportunity to be an active part of the webinar. Ask whatever is of interest for you around the application topic. Discuss and get in-depth information from our application specialists. There is little that they haven't seen yet, so they should be able to answer all your questions. Welcome, and let's get started.
Hello, my name is Christina Heimes and I work at Bauma HHS as a project manager. And I'm responsible for taking care of Bauma HHS's impact on the sustainability and our environment. Today, let's have fun at the webinar.
Hi, and a hearty welcome to the Bauma HHS webinar on leading solutions for sustainable packaging. My name is Christina Heimes and I work at Bauma HHS as a project and project portfolio manager for more than 2 years now. Promoting sustainability is not just a project or a job at work. For me, it's a matter of the heart. Therefore, I am very happy to give you some insights on the sustainable solution for the packaging production provided by Bauma HHS. Speaking of which, I would like to start and explain what sustainability means for Bauma HHS. As you already know, the definition of sustainability consists of 3 parts: the ecological, the economical, and the social part. Looking at these 3 parts here, we as Bauma HHS thought about our impact, how we can be ecological as a company with all of our products and our production, economical for our customers, and social for our employees. We had many more ideas than mentioned on the script here, but we cannot do everything at once, and neither can you. So we decided to look at each bubble and start with the ecological aspects. So we started to think again and again and again, until we started to rethink our products, our structure, our production, and our customer relationships. What if we try to rethink and renew the things that we already have? Therefore, we took a close look at our production, our products, and our product's life cycle, and found a perfect start to begin and to become better at ecological sustainability. So where and how can we, as Bauma HHS, intervene to improve the production cycle to make it more sustainable? By reducing the production waste and recycling what we cannot reduce. So, ecological sustainability for Bauma HHS is reducing the production waste, true to our new motto, to rethink, renew, and recycle. The worldwide consumption of packaging is growing annually. As you can see, from 2017 until 2020, the consumption of the packaging has risen sharply. but in comparison to the sustainable packaging solutions, they are comparatively still low. Spoken in numbers, 47 million tons of cardboard have been consumed worldwide in 2018, according to a Smithers Pyra report. In every production, waste is generated, so we should prioritize minimizing our production waste to help our environment. So now, just imagine, by reducing your production waste by only 0.5%, you can save up to 235,000 tons of waste, which is the size of the biggest ship in the world, including 2 elephants. In the packaging production, the goal is to increase efficiency in order to achieve savings in material and energy, and thus effects for sustainability. So the motto here is as much as necessary, but as little as possible. Functionally reliable processes ensure at the same time an ecological and economical optimum in the production, use and disposal of the packaging. Bauma HHS products contribute in a large number of process steps to reduce waste and increase usability. But now let's get a little bit more specific and focus on the folding carton production. The production of packaging, here using the example of the folding carton, must be viewed holistically, taking into account the essential interfaces to upstream and downstream processes. The upstream process for folding carton production is the manufacture of the folding carton, and the downstream process is the disposal and recycling of the cardboard after its use. Both processes, at least when using recycled cardboard, are directly or indirectly influenced by the packaging manufacturing processes. So the rules apply. The earlier a production error is discovered in the process chain, the lower the economic and ecological effects. However, every process not only creates added value, but also creates waste, as you will see in the life cycle of the folding carton, which starts with the paper and board production using virgin fibers as well as the recycled waste. The second part is the transportation and the storage. We as Bauma HHS do not participate in this part, as well as the third part, the printing. But these parts are carried out by you, our customers. We participate in the following parts of the life cycle and try to contribute to make your production more sustainable. The next phase of the life cycle is the die cutting. Bauma HHS can help you prevent waste in this phase with mixing control. Mixing means 2 products like mixing a folding carton with a different order or a different product during a production run. But I will tell you more about the difficulties of mixing up and how to prevent these after finishing the product's life cycle. The next part of the life cycle is the gluing. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the statement, you can't test quality. I think it's so cliché that it actually has to be true. Whether it's cars or glue application, if it's not done right from the start, it will never be right. The quality goal must therefore be that the adhesive is applied over a long period of time to the right place at the right time on the folding carton blank. The necessary quality can be aimed for by adjusting the quality in a closed loop control. The quality of the control, however, depends on the input variables of a sensor and the control algorithm stored in the control. Such a regulation is unnecessary if the adhesive application valve and the control are robust against external disturbances. A regulation cannot eliminate all causes of disturbance, but only try to regulate within certain limits. A control system cannot eliminate certain disturbance variables at all, but for example, a stick of glue that forms a nozzle tip and deflects the glue jet, or a nozzle that is starting to clog. The next step in the folding carton's life cycle is the erecting. As well as in the previous parts, in the erecting waste is generated, and mostly due to internal bonding, which is caused by incorrect glue application. The folding boxes can no longer be erected and filled. If this happens, the filling system stops, and it's not uncommon for the faulty folding carton boxes to be sorted out or disposed of. To avoid unnecessary waste, early detection and sensors can be used. But I will tell you more about Baumer HHS's solution for this problem after I have finished the folding carton's life cycle. The solution which I will show you is called the GDX 1000. The next step is the filling and closing, and Bauma HHS was the first provider to consistently rely on a dynamic fail-safe process. If the monitoring sensors are activated, all products are marked as defective in the software. Only when all the sensors involved in the quality monitoring have assessed the quality features without errors is the product marked as error-free and not ejected. A failure or malfunction of a sensor cannot lead to a faulty or incompletely checked folding box being delivered. In the event of a permanent error, the follow-up error monitoring tasks effect, which stop the machine or the feeder after a specified number of products. This avoids the formation of excessive rejects, which equals less created waste in this step of the process. The next step in the product lifecycle of a folding carton is the transport and the storage of the goods. As explained in the previous steps, the monitoring in advance is essential to prevent the waste in the production. The shelf life and durability of the packaging is essential, especially during transport, as the products and the packaging are often not handled very gently. If the packaging is damaged, there is a lot of product that goes to the landfill. To prevent this, the packaging must be checked for defects in advance, and only robust packaging may retain in the product cycle. So, the penultimate part of the life cycle is about the usage. At least no production waste is generated here. But in order to introduce a sustainable aspect to the content of the packaging, it is protected for the transportation and it scores with user-friendly and simple opening, which is also a sustainable aspect. So now we are at the end of the product lifecycle of a folding carton, which ends with the disposal. The previous explanation has shown that the quality and quality monitoring in the production of a folding carton makes a major contribution to reducing the waste. Every folding carton box that is ejected due to an error is waste, in an economic as well as an ecological sense. Material, energy, and auxiliary materials were used for this production, and some go to the landfill. But even if the folding carton's material can be fed back into the recycling cycle, this effort is wasted. Therefore, the less energy has to be used to recycle, the cheaper and also the more sustainable your process will be. After looking at the product life cycle of a folding carton, I would now like to show you how to minimize production waste and how to eliminate unwanted additives. Let's start with how to minimize production waste. The first step is a short and easy setup of machines to minimize the startup waste. The less time it takes to set up the machines, the less weight is generated. With non-contact glue application and high-performance glue application heads, your production disturbance can be minimized. A detection system ensures high-quality output and eliminates production failures. With precise sheet guiding, perfect glue application is ensured, as well as waste prevented. And last but not least, monitoring and statistic functions help you to monitor your production parameters. And the evaluation helps to convert the machines preventively and to learn from your past mistakes, as well as safe settings that will help you with your repeat orders, which equates the less production waste. As I already mentioned in the life cycle of the folding carton, I will take up the topic of mixing up. In the die cutting phase, mixing is a disruptive factor that must be taken into account. Mixing means mixing two different products together, and the consequence is that if an intermixing occurs, resorting has to be carried out if the products have not been delivered. In practice, it has been observed that production runs are being destroyed because resorting is not economically viable. If the packaging, including the packaged goods, is delivered, product recalls are even necessary in the worst case. Resorting and in particular product recalls are associated with economic and ecological costs which must be avoided. Bauma HHS has developed both cameras and sensors for this in order to be able to identify the wrong boxes from the production flow in order to exclude them. And the code monitoring is today's standard. The CT300 sensor monitors the folding carton codes and compares them with a predefined pattern. In the event of deviations, the defective products are safely tracked through the machine with the XSend3 control and ejected. Because here too, the earlier the intermingling is recognized in the process, the lower the ecological and economic effects. As I already mentioned in the folding cartons lifecycle, Baumer HHS created the perfect product for your waste-reduced glue application, the PX1000. According to currently valid quality management standard of the ISO 9001, quality is the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics of an object fulfills requirements. According to this definition, quality is when the adhesive application valve inherently, by itself, applies the adhesive without errors. By using new innovation and simulation techniques, Baumer HHS has come very close to achieving this goal. The new PX1000 cold glue application valve is the result. Admittedly, it was very difficult to imagine that the PL500 cold glue application valve, which dominates the market in huge numbers, could be improved again. But after all, this cold glue application valve was the unmatched standard in the cold glue application for almost 15 years. But like in sports, records fall at some point. Customers report that with the use of the new PX1000, the intervals between the necessary cleaning are doubled. The tailing is minimal or no longer noticeable, even at high speeds. And the freewheeling behavior is excellent, even after long breaks. Even the smallest points can be applied to the smallest flaps of the folding carton's blanks. This reduces the number of faulty folding carton boxes. What is applied and glued well will not be ejected and does not form waste. So now that you know of the PX1000 and glue has been applied, what happens if an error occurs? Then the GDX1000 adhesive sensor will reliably detect it for you. The GDX1000 is characterized by a newly developed optics and a state-of-the-art analysis software, which brings setup time as well as quality advantages. The 1000 sold ULT300 was excellent at monitoring adhesive areas, but it could be improved at monitoring adhesive-free areas, and so we did. Even though the monitoring of adhesive-free areas was possible with the ULT, it required careful programming with the masking of the critical areas, and many customers have therefore forego this important function. But no one can afford too much make-ready time today with the trend towards sharply falling print runs. The GDX1000 enables adhesive-free areas to be monitored with little effort. In most cases, due to the more sensitive separation between the adhesive and background signals and the improved signal analysis, masking can be largely dispensed with, and the production order can start faster. But why is glue-free area monitoring so important? The malfunction in the adhesive application usually grows slowly. The monitoring of the adhesive-free zones offer a further possibility to discover errors early in the process, before they lead to serious malfunctions in the packaging. The most painful consequence of an incorrect application of adhesive is the internal bonding, as I mentioned in the life cycle. The folding carton box can no longer be erected and filled, and the filling system has to stop. And the GDX1000 helps to ensure that it doesn't come to that. We created the GDX1000 to eliminate and monitor unwanted additives because additives can have a negative impact of your end product, especially in the food industry. The worst case you can have is to discard a whole charge when your product is contaminated with additives in the glue, which is obviously not sustainable due to the unnecessarily created waste. To prevent this, the GDX1000, as well as many other Bauma HHS sensors, help to monitor and maximize your end product safety without contaminating the end product with additives, which leads to maximize product as well as production safety. To summarize, trying to be more sustainable can lead to more profitability by starting with the reduction of waste and additives and getting into the sustainable packaging. This can lead to a higher profitability. So now I have talked a lot about making your production waste-free and more sustainable with Bauma HHS. But we also try to make our production and products as well as the company more sustainable. So we started with some environmental friendly changes for Bauma HHS. We created an eco mode on our hot melt gluing systems for energy saving. We created a CO2 footprint app and precise glue calculation tool for less waste. We started an initiative for multi-use of waste in which old cardboard boxes are shredded to be reused as filling materials, as well as the use of recycled plastics in our production and developing products out of it. We created our new brochures, climate neutral, and the consumption supports solar energy in Namibia. We now use plastic-free shipping notes and mailers as well as pendulum packaging for our suppliers and partners. But most significantly, we are working on a project about adhesive made from renewable raw materials. So, if you liked our ideas and what I talked about, just stay tuned and follow us on LinkedIn or check out our website for new and upcoming webinars. So now we are at the end of today's webinar, and I would like to thank you all for your attention. I hope a few ideas on the subject on waste minimization in your production have given you some food for your thoughts. If you now have any further questions, I will be very happy to answer them. So thank you all for listening to today's webinar, and let's stick together.
Thank you, Christina, for your explanations on sustainability and packaging. We come now to the period that we have time for your questions. Our specialists, Christina Heimes, you have seen already, and Thomas Walter are here to answer your questions. And now Thomas Walter and Christina will already log in. There is Thomas, and Christina will also join in. And we have already the first questions here in our system, but I can hand over to the specialists now for answering. So as Christina is still on the move, maybe she got a technical problem or it is handed over. Okay, then I can ask this question here directly to Thomas. There's a question I read on LinkedIn about the alliance between Forever Green and Baumer HHS. Thomas, can you tell a little bit more on the alliance and the work that Baumer HHS is doing in between Forever Green?
Yeah, with pleasure. Forever Green is an European-wide organization which deals with recycling of board, and we are working very close.
Thomas, your microphone is maybe a little bit on, a little bit down. Can you move it a little up so that the sound quality is a little bit better? Thanks a lot. Now the microphone is off. Thomas, your mic. Oh, no. Yeah. Perfect. That's great.
Sorry, it was switch on. I don't know why it's switched off. So, okay, let's start again. Forever Green is a European organization which deals with sustainable packaging, especially with recycling of this packaging. And Bauma HHS is working in a subgroup which looks at the influence of adhesive on recycling, especially how hot melts and cold glues and also special adhesives influence recycling. But generally, we at Bauma HHS knows that we can't do anything alone. So we have to look for partnerships overall. So we have a lot of cooperation with other companies and also research partners, and we are very open for any request. So we are doing that in many times, and we have bilateral cooperation, also multilateral cooperation. And if you have any request or any idea on how get packaging more sustainable, please let us talk about it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, Thomas, for the input on Forever Green. I get the next question. Maybe Christina can answer that. What does the sustainability goal look like for you and your company besides the customer's waste?
Yeah, I will happily answer that. Yeah, as stated on the last slide, we are working on different solutions now, but we are also working on a goal for our on a climate goal for our company, and we want to lower our emissions, including fuels and energy or compressed air. But we are not ready to share the defined goal until we have a feasible action plan coming, because we don't want to be called greenwashed. But as stated in the European Green Deal, waste should be reduced by 50% until 2030, and this is where we want to start. So.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. Much of work. Next question comes up for, okay, here is it. What does the sustainable, no, that's the wrong question. Where is my question? It is gone. Here it is. Sorry for interrupting. So why is mix-up control important for sustainability, Christina? You just mentioned mix-up control as an important feature, but mix-up control is, get some more info on that, please.
Yeah, mixing control is very important for the sustainability, because we can prevent the waste. Because if two products are mixed up together, a whole batch could be eliminated, because if they merge together, this is not the product you want at the end of your product's life cycle. So the mixing control is important to reduce the waste. If you do this before the product is in the life cycle. So this is very well for your ecological as well as the economical aspects.
Okay, perfect. And I get one additional question. This is coming up from, you mentioned in your presentation 0.5% on waste reduction. The question is, why only 0.5%, or where do you come from that to that figure?
We chose 0.5% because it's a minimum size. So if you imagine just putting your heart into this and do more than 0.5%, just imagine what you can do. So this is appeal to everyone out there to think about it. So if you put your heart into the topic of sustainability and try to do something about it, you can change much more than 0.5%.
Yeah, I think the question is going in the direction if 0.5% of the whole production. So if we speak generally, 3% is waste, or and we reduce it to 2.5%, or it's 0.5% of the 3%. I think it's not very clear.
Yes, that's the 0.5 of 3%. Yes, okay. But as we already saw in the pictures, it's a huge amount of waste generated with these 0.5%. We all have these pictures of these big ship before our eyes, how big that is. Yes, so only get this
question
we have already. Yes, there is. Ha! Here it is. Okay. Thomas, it's maybe related to you about new projects on things that Baumer HHS is doing, and where do we show something like that?
We have several projects working on equipment or how to deal with sustainable glue, which is based on renewable material, and the resources are different. So it could be from plant-based or animal-based and gelatin glue. And in Fachpack, you can see something prototype of that, one of these projects. But we have several projects, and we're working close together with research institutes like Fraunhofer Institute, which is well famous and worldwide famous for research. And we are happy to do that, to work on a sustainable future. But as you know, this is more fundamental research. It takes time to get something done. So we speak here in generations and years, and not in weeks.
Okay, but it is on the way, so there is something.
So it's on the way. Everything is on the way, but we are also open for new research projects. If somebody has contacts or ideas, please let us know.
Okay, thank you. So I get a new questions coming up from Denise. What is the level of acceptance among customers when it comes to switching to a new product? It's more sales related. Does the customer also focus on sustainability? What is your feedback, Thomas?
I think sustainability will be in the focus, or are already in the focus. So if you have discussion with customers, this is a very strong topic, because the brand owner demand sustainable production. So our customers who produce the packaging are forced to get in it. But as I noticed, most of our customers doing by heart also, because they want for their own, and it's an inherent motivation to get more sustainable production. So as you look at Forever Green, there's a lot of companies which are also other customers working on a sustainable future of packaging.
Okay, so when it comes, just actually, I have no question, but we can have a resume, Thomas, about driving initiatives and working with companies together from the industry about the feedback and the working together. So maybe you get a feedback on that.
I think we have very interesting years in front of us. We have so many changes also in. If you see, it's a discussion about climate change or recycling. So many new topics coming up, and which will change our industry. And we can only offer to be your partner and your research partner also in this topic to get forward. And I think gluing will be also important in the future, because gluing helps also to reduce the packaging weight. This is one of the goals of the EU Commission. And I think there's many attempts to get to this goal. And we are looking also what is the right way, how we go. And as the whole industry, there's a lot of discussion, and we should do, or we should focus on this discussion to get the right way to the goal. And I think we do not have so much time left to make a big change. And what we see also, there's a lot of switching over from plastic packaging to paper packaging. And this needs also mostly gluing, but we have to be aware that also the whole industry develops new ideas. If you look at the bioplastic industry, there's a lot of things coming, and I'm very curious what the future will be, how the future will be in packaging. Thank you.
Okay, Christina, some words from you to that topic?
Yeah, as I mentioned, the Green Deal, a lot of our customers know what changes will come from this. So we get more inquiries about sustainability. And we as a company also thrive to be better and to make an effort in sustainable actions. So if you have anything to say to us, to give us a hint in which direction you want us to go with sustainability or looking toward environmental friendly changes, we are very open to this, and we are hoping to work together more closely in the future, just to reach a new goal and a new era of sustainable production.
Okay, I think this is a perfect statement at the end, because there's nothing more to say about that. So there is one question just coming up in a minute, so I would like to put it out because this is very helpful for us. It is not, my tool is not working well, so no, there is a, okay. It's over here, okay. Now we get it. Okay, sorry for. So how do we get regular update information on new product development? That's a perfect question because we will communicate all the things what we're doing. Christina is our part for communicating that to the world. Christina, how do people get their updates from Baumer HHS?
So if there are new updates on product development about sustainability, we will reach out to you by our sales persons that are going to you and will inform you, as well as you can check our website or go to our LinkedIn and follow us. We will post updates there regularly. Yeah, I think these are our sources, as well as a YouTube channel, which we have, which is very nice. It's the GlueTube channel. You can check this out as well, and there will be upcoming new product informations.
Okay, perfect. So from my perspective, thank you together, my specialists. Thank you for being here, for discussing with us and with all the attendees here in the webinar. From my perspective, I like to thank you, and I'd like to thank every attendee for being here with Baumer HHS, for joining the Baumer HHS dialogue. Please stay tuned. We will come up with much more topics within the next time. And yes, thanks a lot for being part of Baumer HHS dialogue.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.